Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're really digging into something interesting. The technical design documentation for Loopring v3.
That's right. We grabbed it straight from their GitHub repository.
And our goal here really is to understand what this document is, its structure, but also what it means for a project like this to put its plans out there so openly.
Exactly. We're not getting lost in the weeds technically, but looking at the bigger picture, think of it like studying the architect's master plan.
Okay, so let's start with GitHub itself. Some of you listening definitely know it well, but for others, how should we describe it?
Well, it's basically the giant go-to platform for software developers, especially for open source stuff. It's where people share code, work together on it.
Like a big digital workshop where the blueprints are shared.
That's a great way to put it. And Loopring keeps this V3 design doc in what they call their protocols repository. It's like a specific project folder in that workshop.
Right, okay. And the fact that it is on GitHub and it's open source, that tells us something straight away, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It screams transparency. Loopring is essentially laying its cards on the table saying, here's how our system is designed. Look it over.
Yeah, you see that right on the page. It says Loopring protocols, nice and clear. And then public right next to it. No hiding.
Mm-hmm. Total open access.
Then you have these metrics, fork 124 and star 333. What's the story there? What do those mean?
So fork 124 means 124 people or teams have made their own complete copy of Loopring's code repository.
A copy. Why?
Well, maybe to experiment with it, maybe to try adding a new feature, or even just to study it deeply without affecting the original. They could potentially propose changes back too.
Oh, okay. And the stars. Star 333.
That's simpler. It's kind of like a thumbs up or bookmark. Over 300 people have marked this repository as interesting or valuable to them. It shows community interest, engagement.
Got it. So signs of an active community looking at this stuff. Now, within the repository itself, there are more navigation tabs, code, issues, pull requests.
Yeah.
Sounds like standard developer tools.
Pretty much, yeah. Code is where you find the actual files, like the design doc we're talking about.
Yeah.
Issues is like a public bulletin board for bugs, ideas, questions. Anyone can raise an issue.
Right.
And pull requests. That's where someone who forked the code submits their proposed changes back to Loopring for review.
So it's all set up for collaboration.
Exactly. It facilitates that whole community involvement, letting people contribute and also scrutinize the project. Yeah. Then there's Wiki, too, often for more like background info or guides.
We did see a little message pop up briefly, something like, you can't perform that action at this time. Should that worry us about accessing the document?
Probably not. That's a pretty common message online. Could be a temporary GitHub hiccup, maybe something about permissions if we were trying to, say, edit something, which we weren't.
Okay.
It almost certainly doesn't affect just viewing the public documentation, usually just a transient thing.
All right, so pulling this all together, looking at Loopring v3's design doc on GitHub tells us a lot, not just about the tech, but about the approach. It's open source, transparent.
Yes, the platform itself, GitHub, with its forks, stars, issues, pull requests, it all reinforces this idea of open development and community engagement. It's baked into the process.
So the big takeaway isn't just what's in the document, but the fact that it's there and how it's presented.
Precisely. And that leads to a really interesting thought, especially for blockchain tech. When you make your core design public like this, when you invite the world to look, fork, and contribute, what does that do?
You mean for security? For innovation?
Both. Think about it. This level of transparency, this collaborative potential through platforms like GitHub, how does that fundamentally shape the security and the speed of innovation in a field like blockchain? It's a very different way of building things compared to closed proprietary systems, something for you, the listener, to really chew on.